You think that's how rocket launches
Mic
go?
check, mic check.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Blast off now.
All right. We're ready. We could have been ready 10 minutes ago. It's 5 o'clock. Guess who's on time? And it's my fault. You're watching Chelsea and Tony Live. And this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a website, a domain, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. It doesn't matter if you want a photography page. You could have a page for your aerobics class, if that's what you do. But, Tony, why are you telling me to do things?
Charles, I'm just trying to get you to take your hands off the table because you move them around and it makes like banging sounds.
Well, we should accommodate for that. But go to squarespace.com/Tony. Use the coupon code PORTFOLIO. That gets you 10% off, and it lets Squarespace know this show is worth sponsoring. So thank you, Squarespace, for making this show possible, and thank all of you for also making this show possible.
Thank you, Squarespace. Today, we're looking at your long exposure pictures.
What does that mean? That's the question people were asking. I'm
Yeah.
speaking for the people.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not shots at 1/30th of a second, but maybe it's pictures at 1 second or longer. I imagined, I don't know. Why? Is it really that vague?
Could it be someone freezing in an icy climate?
I mean, I think if it's star trails, that's okay. I think if it's, a shot like this where you're really dragging the shutter to show a lot of motion in it, I don't think it needs to be, like this shot was at 1/5 of a second, but nonetheless, it was still much slower. So the long exposure needs to be key to the actual photo and deliberate. Right. Those are pretty flexible. Yeah, we're constantly tweaking the mic situation, and it turns out the new mic that I got you just transfers every sort of vibration right through to the mic. So just be a little bit mindful of it. There are two ways you can communicate with us today. You can use hashtag TCLive on Instagram or Twitter. If you use Twitter while the show is live, our producer Justin here in studio can toss it up on the screen.
Hello.
How you doing, Justin? What you drinking tonight?
Oh, I'm drinking that Glenfiddich. It's delicious.
Oh, yeah, nice 12-year Glenfiddich.
Justin has like 10 ounces of that stuff over there.
Justin's generous with himself.
2-3 fingers worth.
Siobhan.
It's a narrow glass.
Siobhan out in Philly is reading your comments as you type them live into the comments, and she can ask us questions or read us funny comments, depending on whether you have questions or are funny. Thanks, Siobhan.
I hope people are funny today. I just need it.
Yeah, we could use some humor. Siobhan's also screening your pictures. Next week, we're looking at your abstract photos. Do we need to define carefully what abstract is? Not pictures of your cat.
Well, what if it's an abstract picture of their cat?
I don't see how that's necessarily possible, but let's just say no cat pictures.
Wow. Why you got to limit an artist like that? Guys, our Lightroom 5 book is now $14.99. It's on super sale. It was normally $24.99. Go to stp.io/LR.
But Chelsea, that's not the most current version of Lightroom.
Yeah, it's not. But there's a lot of information there that still applies.
Yeah.
And it's a good deal.
Yeah, and we have a ton of books left over, so.
We have a ton of books left over, but it also comes with videos, and a lot of the information is applicable. You can go to stp.io/LR, and then you have to click paperback and Lightroom 5, and then the price $14.99 will come up.
And can I say it's mildly related, but if you get the Lightroom 6 version of the book, all the videos are now closed captioned. Thanks to a monumentous effort by Siobhan, who personally closed captioned 14 hours of video. Good times, right?
She hated it. She hated every moment of it.
Yeah.
So you guys make her life have meaning.
Closed captioning sucks, but it really helps people who either can't hear as well as us or who are maybe learning English as a second language. Being able to read it at the same time makes it much clearer. So I think it's an important aspect of learning. I also wanted to say, last time I checked, our current like count on Facebook was 99,945.
I think it's because of our cool expressions.
And our Facebook page is real dorky. But
it's really dorky.
What is more maddening than being close to a big round number? Because there's nothing more important in life than big round numbers.
Diseases.
So if there are 55 of you who could go to Facebook and give us a like,
We're
That would
just
make
have a
my
lot
day.
of requests today. I'm having a very needy
Buy
week.
books.
Buy your book and like
Like our
stuff.
Facebook page.
Why? Sorry.
This
What
week,
happened to you?
like 3 weeks ago, I recorded this video about a mistake a major mistake that I found in DxOMark from years ago. And I knew anytime I've known about it for years. Anytime I mentioned, I knew it was going to be a problem. So I just kind of sat on it for a long time, but I thought now enough time had passed because it's from, I think, 2014. I thought this is enough time. People aren't going to be sensitive about it.
Too soon.
It was more like a curiosity. Like I thought it was interesting about how the media picked up on this mismeasurement and then ran with it and ended up being this big, like kind of noteworthy camera because of this mismeasurement. So I made a video about it, and then I was not prepared for the onslaught of comments that I would get. So I just took it back down.
But I don't understand why you didn't consult me, because I could have told you that we were both jet lagged. You can't deal with emotional comments when you're jet lagged.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Because sometimes I'm willing to put up a fight, and other times...
I'm tapping my fingers.
Yeah.
This is not going to work for me. I'm a very musical
I'm going to get you
person.
a different mic stand that's not
literally
connected
a
to the
pianist.
table.
All
I was
do
just
is
talking about
I play
it.
the piano everywhere I go.
This is true. Everything is a piano to Chelsea.
Did you guys know this was a problem? It is.
You can tap on the TV. That's cool. Anyway, I just wanted to say, for all you people who are asking, like, where's the video? I'm probably going to repost it, but with a new intro, because I just want to head off the, 1,200 comments that I got.
It's like,
oh, you hate Sony. Oh, conspiracies, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, when I took it down, it then prompted people to think that there was some sort of conspiracy, like, oh, why did you take it down? What's going on now?
That's why people were asking about conspiracy stuff on our site. I was like, what are people talking
Yes,
about?
no, I just took it down because I couldn't deal with the small minority of people who are
You
a real
shouldn't be
pain.
ashamed. I think I rage quit a video once because I worked really hard on a video, and then people were like, your hair's dumb or something like that. And I was like, fuck the world.
Yeah.
I think I quit
I didn't
life
think
that
people
day.
would care when I took it down. I took it down like an hour and a half after I put it up. I just thought nobody will even notice that I took it down. A lot of people noticed.
They notice.
Anyway, on to photography news from this week. Not a lot going on. Fuji released firmware updates they announced that they will soon be releasing firmware updates for their X Pro 2 and X-T2 cameras. And normally we wouldn't consider that to be newsworthy, except that these are like Fuji's massive, what they call their Kaizen firmware updates, where they add a ton of new features. Maybe I'm using the wrong word.
That's
Some
the guy that
Japanese
asked
word.
us to look at his pictures.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaizen.
I could be wrong. Anyway, Fuji releases these firmware updates that actually expand the functionality of the cameras. Not unlike the updates you get to your phone where they improve things.
Car.
And your car, if you happen to own a Tesla. Anyway, so I'm excited about it. I wanted to give them some extra attention because we really appreciate that Fuji not just fixes minor problems, but expands functionality. Another bit of news, Billboard magazine released their cover is proudly shot on the iPhone 7. How do you feel about this? Because magazine covers have been the realm of medium format cameras forever.
Well, I just think that it's kind of a little bit ridiculous because they act like it's the camera that does all the work, but you have professional lighting, a professional photographer, a stylist, a model, hair and makeup. I can't really see the full quality of this picture just because of the way it looks in my monitor, but that's not what's great about the picture. So it probably could have been shot with a lot of cell phones and been fine, or even a lot of low-end cameras. So I'm not impressed, but I'm also pretty cranky today.
Well, I know it's only newsworthy because of this misconception that people have that the camera is responsible for the picture when it's such a small part of the picture.
What if we did this? We should do a video about this, and we should set up a shoot with perfect lighting, perfect model styling and everything, and just pick the most potato cameras and take 300 pictures and pick the best one, and then try to act like it's the camera that did all the work. Because that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's very silly to me.
But we do have
But
a
I
photo
will
shoot
say,
tomorrow. I'll bust out
actually-
my iPhone 7 and
To completely take back what I just said, cell phone cameras are getting really good.
I know I'm using the iPhone 7 Plus with that 50 millimeter. I think that's what this is, the iPhone 7 Plus with the telephoto
Like the
and
portrait mode?
And the portrait mode, yeah, with the background blur, because you do see that background blur in there. So the background blur is fake, which is kind of noteworthy too.
Yeah, but they probably still went in with Photoshop and cleaned it up because the background blur isn't perfect.
Yeah, I think they did some post.
So, okay.
No, I don't know.
Point made.
It's
They made
only
their
there
point.
because people have dumb ideas, and it's only there really to enrage photographers into covering it in the news, which everybody did. Let's look at some pictures, then we'll circle back to chit
Let's
chat.
look at pictures. Can I just ask Siobhan a question first?
Yeah, you should do that.
My question to Siobhan is, do you have any questions?
Yes, but also someone said that they were our 100,000 Facebook page. Like,
Oh, awesome! Thank you. Woohoo!
now I can't. I don't know how to see it as a moderator.
Well,
He
thank
might be
you.
lying to us.
Well, thank you.
Troy Hall wants to know if cheap generic teleconverters are worth starting with.
Oh, we tested the Yongno teleconverter, and it was awful.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad. With teleconverters, you have a choice. You can you not use a teleconverter and crop, and that's definitely a better idea than using
A
the
cheap
cheap
one?
Yongno teleconverter.
But we don't know all cheap teleconverters, but
Right, and I do have I think I have a Tamron teleconverter, but it's like their Pro model, and it's less expensive than the name brand ones, and it definitely helps.
yeah.
So I don't know that I would feel comfortable. I can definitely say that one teleconverter is not worth it, but I can't address every one of them.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Siobhan?
Yes. Have you picked the next location for Wanderlust yet? After all of our backlogged ones.
We've looked at a lot of them, and we haven't picked one yet. But we are planning on going on another trip with the Lowenbachs, which might be infuriating to you. But we're still going to do another one. It's not cutting into choosing one of you. We just really made friends with the Lowenbachs on our trip.
Yeah, but we do have to. Yeah, we have to find somebody new, and we have a lot of offers that I was really excited about.
Yeah, we're really backed up. We got to get on that.
And yeah, we have just been generally backed up. Okay, let's look at some pictures. This is from Jonathan Ricasa, and
Aliens.
it's aliens, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely confident what this could be. Is it? It feels like
a firework. Is it a drone with fireworks on it?
that was actually my thought. Is it looks like a drone with like sparklers attached to it. Do you guys have any ideas?
That's my idea.
That's a good one.
Okay, but
actually.
there are other people.
No, there's not.
I'm going to give it a
Justin,
pick.
do you have an
It
idea?
made me think.
No, I
I liked
See?
it.
I
It's
agree
pretty.
with Chelsea. I think that's about right.
And you know what? I feel like I want to run with this idea of strapping fireworks onto drones and taking long exposures.
That seems super legal and safe.
Yeah, Justin, you're an FAA certified drone pilot. Is that cool? Can I just fly a drone at night with a bunch of explosives attached to it?
There are so many like first-person drone videos where there's like Roman candles and they're just gunning down their friends and stuff.
Oh, that
like
sounds
Oh,
tons
really?
of them. Yeah,
Why
it's
haven't
really.
you
know
sent
that.
me those? I want to do that
I
to tell me.
should. I should.
There was a kid in Connecticut that put a gun on his drone. I think he's in jail.
Not for that though.
Yeah, they're not cool.
Oh, I think he
Something
also...
way more sinister.
Didn't he like... Is he a pedophile?
Yeah.
Damn.
Where is this conversation going?
Oh, this is very cool, Brittany. I like this a lot. I'm going to give this a pick.
You know what? I like it even more now that I read the title, The Road to Jonesboro. So I feel like she took this
Whoa.
out the window. That's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a Paul Simon song too, which I really like.
And you have a video.
I have a video about how to make something similar to this.
Yeah, and it looks really similar. But this turned out gorgeous. Great. We got 2 pics. The first 2 pictures were pics.
Oh, we're on a pick roll. This is... I'm going to do things. I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to cool it down.
All I can think about is what this
Nespodzet.
is. What is it?
What happened?
I don't know. I do not know what's going on in this picture.
I think it's a bus.
Oh,
Cool bus.
okay. Beautiful fireworks shot, right? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to give it a pick.
That's really beautiful, Steve.
Nicely done.
I like his watermark is tasteful. I knew who it was, but I saw the picture first, and then I was like, Steve.
Yeah.
Give you a pick for the watermark. People ask
Luke
what
Johnson.
happens to the picks. Nothing yet, but we're gonna find something.
Yeah, we're going to make something
We're
about
gonna
that.
do something.
So with waterfall photos, oh, look, you actually have the detail in the JPEG. At least on my screen, it looked like this was all blown out, but it must not technically be blown out since I can see it. I just wanted to recover like a tiny bit of detail there, but do you see detail there? Is that just...
Just go like that. Yeah, there's detail there.
Yeah, okay. So I guess it's not actually clipped.
What are these two talking about? I like this.
What are they talking about? I like that it's one of one. Okay, thanks for keeping us posted on the current count. This is from Kaizen Rider.
This is my friend Kaizen. I try to look at his pictures as often as possible.
Yeah, oh, people are talking about Kaizen.
I really
That's
like
true.
these starbursts. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, he's shooting at f/29. Perhaps he did that to help get the 5-second exposure, but that high f-stop number will give you cool starbursts. That's a good trick to...
Cool Kaizen. I'm going to give Kaizen a pick because he's really good at marketing and his picture was good too.
Kaizen is good at marketing. Gorgeous picture of lightning. It's an 8-second exposure. If you want to take pictures of lightning, and an easy, cheap way to do it without buying gadgets is just to...
Make lightning. Is that not right? Oh no.
Oh,
How did dogs
Sandy's
get in
buzzing.
here?
Just, you can set your camera to take pictures continuously, either by hooking up a remote shutter release and locking the shutter down, or by setting it like a time lapse where it just shoots, and just do a long exposure. And your camera will pretty much take pictures of nothing, but occasionally it will snap a picture of something. I'm not expecting any deliveries or anything. The dogs pretty much don't bark all day.
I think it was UPS.
It was probably a
they're
rabbit.
probably
They're
picking up
coming and going, yeah.
So I'm going to give Daniel a pick. Picks are just flowing tonight.
Pics are flowing.
Oh man, you got to give it another pick right away, right? It's just a beautiful composition, a great picture. I feel
I
like
would bring
could
back a
probably
little
crop
bit
it.
of dress detail. Oh, good Lord. Animal.
You know what I love about dogs is
They have
Why
no
not
sense
Sandy?
of danger.
no, she believes she is just thwarting danger. There's this, oh great edit, Chelsea.
I don't need your criticism.
There's this like 100,000-year-old evolution just telling them that they need to just notify us of anything they think is a threat. And Sandy for 13 years has just been notifying me of mailmen and UPS delivery people. And I guess because nobody's ever been murdered,
Are you still talking about this?
she just thinks she's batting 1,000. Like she must imagine that she's just the best guard dog ever.
Okay. I just brought out a little detail on the dress. I think this picture is wonderful. I'm giving it a pick. Stop for a minute. Norbert Kiss? Do you think his name is Norbert Kiss or his name is Norbert and then Kiss is...
His name is definitely Norbert Kiss.
That's a good name. Look at this leaf.
Yeah, very nice. I almost thought it was spot color for a second, but it was not. He's at half a second in f/22, which means you didn't bring your ND filter.
Why you gotta get on Jerry's case like that?
I just know because I've been in his exact shoes. Now, if you don't bring your ND filter, we have a video about this. If you search for, you probably don't need an ND filter, or you probably don't need filters. Search for something like that on YouTube.
Something about filters and then...
We have a video that will show you a trick using image averaging that will allow you to snap multiple pictures, stack them together to get around having the ND filter. And even if you have an ND filter, maybe you forget it once in a while. It's a good technique to know.
Yeah.
Just snap a bunch of pictures. If nothing else, f/22 will lower the sharpness of the picture. So you probably would have gotten sharper pictures at f8, but stacking, 20 pictures will get you. It'll also allow you to smooth out that water some more, which might have improved the mood of the shot. All right. She's a photographer herself.
She looks like a good time. Look at 2 drinks. Goodness, woman. Let's get together.
I feel like on this shot, Tim fired a flash, and that's why we can see her face is like still and not completely moving around. That, or she is very good at staying still while moving her hand.
No,
But
I
more
think
than like,
you see the shadow and stuff too.
yeah, okay, that's probably a flash.
She's cool. Pick Tim Marsden. I'm going to cool this off a little bit.
Where's Tacoma?
Washington?
Yeah, it's in Washington.
Hey, Matthew.
Where's Yugoslavia?
We're still on Yugoslavia, aren't we?
Yeah, we're never going to move past it.
No.
You
no.
made a mistake.
Yugoslavia and me being chill. Those are two things that will just go on for
You're
as long
so
as I'm
chill.
alive.
You don't even acknowledge current geology.
geology. Oh, is it geology now?
Wait, what is it?
I don't know, political boundaries. Maybe you were going for geography.
Geography.
You really heard that one with your mic.
Oh,
Yeah. I know. We got to get some new mic stands.
I got
I'm
excited.
really sorry about all the noise. It's crazy.
I got excited.
Every week we make a little tweak, and nice shot, Matthew. Sorry we didn't have much
sorry,
to say.
Matthew.
It seems like everything turned out well.
We had a really dumb discussion of your photo, but it was very good.
So this is
Harrods.
Harrods. Is Harrods really like purple, or did he
No,
crank up the vibrance of it? Because
no,
it's all
it's
like
known for
purple and
being
yellow,
purple.
and I don't. The colors are just weirding me out. I don't even know. What if we do this? I guess I'm a little distracted by the colors. Let's just. Okay, there we go. Let's make noise. Nice shot, Steve. Barry, there's not a whole lot in your shot because you kind of shot it late in the day. But if you shot a little bit earlier, you might get a little more detail in the sky. Because right now it just kind of becomes two sets of lines. But you're on the right path. Like you're out there, you're staying up late, you're
out
getting
there.
long exposures, everything's
Doing
working. Now you just have to take it to the next level and think about composition, find a good location, good time of day, maybe even find a way to
I
work
like
the
it.
stars in.
I'm giving it a pick. I like these 2 lights. Ooh,
Yeah.
Robert.
This is gorgeous. That must be London.
This is actually London.
Yeah, it's definitely London.
Dumbo Park.
Though we don't want to. Did we blow out too much of the sky in that?
I can't say.
So this is at 20 millimeters on a full frame camera. When you get to those super wide angles like that, one of the coolest things is the sky will like appear like it's kind
there's
of
Dumbo.
coming at you. So that turned out really cool. And you got gorgeous colors in the sky. This isn't the kind of sunset or sunrise where you can just show up at any time and get it. I feel like it's so noteworthy that you would have to have shown up there many, many times.
I think
and
what's
taken the
so
same shot.
nice about it too is that you have these bursts coming away from the tower.
Yeah, right. They kind of create lines that draw your eye right to that focal point.
I definitely have to give this a pick.
Yeah, that's. I'm giving it 5 stars.
I'm giving it 5 stars.
So that's I never knew that's how you achieve that effect with a really wide angle like that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's got that 17-40, and he's almost completely super wide. So here, I think what we're looking for would be maybe some kind of focal point, because we have these distractions in the foreground. You might just have to simplify the composition a little bit. You're trying to adjust the colors and
Okay. I like this repeating pattern, and I like the smooth water a lot. Maybe one trick would be to just crop into it a bit so that you're getting rid of some of the distractions from your subject. But yeah, I like the water a lot.
yeah, you're on the right track. You have everything technically working out. Adnan Amin,
Adnan.
gorgeous cityscape. Just
Really beautiful colors.
it's a gorgeous cityscape. Yeah.
Pick.
You found a great sky too. I think you brought a lot of nice color into it. I'm not sure what the color looked like originally, but it looks nice.
Very nice. I like when people add some color. So this person did 2.5 seconds, I think handheld, because we're seeing a little, what? A little whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, I bet it wasn't handheld,
You think the tripod fell?
but something nudged the tripod, or maybe they're on a pier. You can be on a pier and the pier will actually shift with the water a little bit. But something moved the tripod, right? And a telltale sign is that you see mostly sharp images. Like this looks sharp because it's not a highlight, so it actually looks okay. But then when you look at these lights, which are, I didn't mean to do that. When you look at these lights, you can see the motion in there. So something just shook the tripod a little bit.
And I'm just cooling it down a little bit. Good start. Getting out there, night photography is really difficult, so just keep shooting and you're on the right path. Joseph Stahl, Ghost Ship. Oh, here's the ship. I'm just going to peek. Oh.
Yeah, if you want to make that your focal point, I think we need to maybe do a little dodging and burning to bring out the boat a little bit more, maybe without ruining everything else. Because at first it didn't look deliberate. It looked like there was just something in your way, and you were trying to take a picture of the skyline here.
Boats, long exposures in boats don't. It's tough. A tough one.
Yeah, I will say, early in my night photography career, I always was going to the shore because I lived in Boston. I quickly discovered that boats moved a lot more than you would think they were moving.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did the
They
same
will just
thing.
always look like that. All right, we got a Porsche fan.
These
Oh,
colors.
Chris Reddy. Very nice.
Oh, these are tricky colors. I really like the movement in the sky. That looks good. Very cool.
We can adjust that color, right? Oh, you're going black and white.
No, I don't think I am. I think I'd go in and just change the highlights to be a little cooler. But other than that, really nice.
I feel like we could have positioned the car a little bit differently. I think on these Porsches, I like the back end a little bit, so maybe having the back end towards the camera. But if you were going to use that specific angling of the car, I think the wheel turned in the other direction might have looked a little bit better, because it just looks a little bit off to have the wheel coming towards the camera, right? Because we're kind of getting just a little bit too much of the front of it exposed. But something to think about. It can be difficult, especially if you're the photographer and you have to just keep jumping in the car to move things around. It can be difficult to position it perfectly.
But Chris Reddy is really partying without us, right? He's just around Porsches and lighthouses.
He seems like he's partying like a rock star.
And he
I
said
definitely
he'd
want to hang
make
with
us
that dude.
pancakes.
Oh, well, he's dead to me then.
Okay.
I'm a waffle guy.
More pancakes for me. John
Like he doesn't know me at all. Flight of the Phoenix. Yeah,
This is really beautiful.
Gorgeous. As soon as he said Phoenix, I can see it in there. I'm going to give it a pick.
I agree with that pick.
ISO 320. Pretty
Derek Davies, Alien or something. Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is very cool. It seems like he zoomed while taking the picture, so he probably let the exposure lock for a little while. It's just his keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it a pick for making a really
Creativity.
cool picture
Pick.
with just stuff that he had around. And awesome keyboard, too.
I'm going to turn it more blue just because that makes it look more future.
The future's blue. We all know this. We're losing reds and stuff.
The future's so blue.
Yeah.
Jim Setzer. Love it, Jim.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Another abstract. We'll have to dig up that video.
Yeah, I do have a video. I'm just going to increase the vibrance a little bit. Just give it a little pop, pop. Okay, I'm going to give that a pick. I don't remember what the name of my video is that teaches people how to do this.
It's abstract art something something. But
Abstract
abstract art
art.
is definitely in the title.
Abstract art something.
And it's in the book, too. I think it's in chapter 2. And I assume
Book.
everybody has bought the book, so
Everybody did.
Stunning Digital
Everybody
Photography
did.
is a great book.
Benjamin. What happened here?
I'm worried there might be too much sharpening. There's something, right?
Don't be worried. It's just pictures. I'm going to give it a pick. I like it. I like the colors. And I like you, Benjamin. I don't know Benjamin. train tracks. Don't do it.
I don't feel like we have to be mad at him for being near.
No,
train
he's not
tracks.
on
He's
the train
in
tracks.
the train tracks. It's like, oh,
But we don't know what this is. This could be many people with flashlights.
I think this would have been much more interesting if we could have at least seen part of the train
Yeah.
in the shot, which I
so-
know adds like another level of difficulty with the timing because you'd
So
have to.
He would need a flash, flat, and then freeze the train.
Yeah, that's a
be
great
cool.
idea.
But
You
I
could
think
even
this is-
hand hold the flash and pop it when the train
Just
was in the
pop
right
it.
position. Just you don't have to have it attached to the camera. Just work out the brightness of the flash ahead of time. Get a few test shots. So it's one of those places
Kenny-
to revisit. Now you have another project.
Duh.
Kenny duh. Classic kind of waterfall shot,
liking the
27
waterfall.
seconds, making the
Don't
water
go
look all
chasing
nice
them.
and feathery. ISO 64 with that D810. Yeah, it turned out nice. I mean, it's tough because you didn't want to get too wet, so you had to maintain some kind of distance. If you could have gotten closer to the water, it would have made things look a little bit nicer. Even if you're willing to get in the water, it doesn't really work to have your tripod in the water because water always moves enough that it ruins your exposure.
I can tell this was such a beautiful scene when he walked onto it, because when I lower the exposure, you see this like beautiful dynamic light. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Kenny. I like this a lot. I'm going to just see if you have... Yeah, you have a white point. You know what's up. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like the solitude of it, but I do want to check the
Makes
level
me feel-
because
Lonely.
okay, it's just like so much better.
What? How do you even see that?
I have a problem.
Siobhan, do you have any questions, Siobhan? Siobhan.
Sure I do. We've gotten a couple super comments. Which is nice.
Yeah.
Super
One of
chat.
them was to say that I am the cat's meow. So
What is a
Wow,
super? What is a
sweet.
super comment?
Oh, you missed it, Chelsea.
I think that's when people
can
hit the
pay
dollar
and
sign.
have their
People
comment
can pay
highlighted.
for a comment and they said something nice. I feel like I should
Yeah.
pay them.
It would be ironic
know,
if people
so
paid and
far.
were just mean.
So far, none of them have been cruel.
Oh no.
Somebody wants to know, Justin, if you are broadcasting with the new Wirecast.
Mm.
No.
I
We're
don't-
dying to know, Justin.
Yeah, I don't know if we're really talking about that, right, Tony? I don't know.
Wait, what? If we're broadcasting with a new Wirecast?
We're definitely not using Wirecast.
No, yeah, we stopped using Wirecast. I didn't know there was a new Wirecast. I mean, maybe it's better than the last one.
I got scared. Like Justin was like a kid who got scared.
Yeah, I just had to think about it.
We can't tell you all our secrets.
Yeah, that's all.
Trade secrets.
No, not Wirecast.
Someone
Trade secret Wirecast is terrible.
Someone on Twitter asked, in landscape photos, where should the main focus be? The background, the middle ground, or the foreground?
I mean, it should be at the focal point, generally, wherever the eye is going to go. And I mean, it depends on the shot. I guess usually that's going to be the foreground. If you have something in the foreground, that generally looks better. If you're trying to get everything as sharp as possible, then you'll focus 1/3 of the way between the foreground and background and then crank your f-stop up enough. Or you can use a technique like focus stacking to get everything in focus.
What else, Siobhan?
Is this the portfolio you set it on? We're going to look at a Squarespace
Well,
portfolio. This
I'm
is-
browsing while I
Blueberry.
listen for more questions.
Okay. We have another one here.
Man, a bunch of people have been asking questions today about how we do the live broadcast. We're not going to answer you.
They're spies.
Well, it's really difficult. I don't think people, even if we wanted to answer, it's so
Yeah.
extremely complex that it would take a very long time.
Yeah.
It would take a series of very long videos.
Yeah, and really, even if we had answered you a month ago, we've changed. It's a moving target. We constantly change things. But yeah, it's extremely complex. I'm not sure any one of us could even explain it in
No,
whole.
I was just thinking that. I know there's parts of this that I definitely couldn't explain.
Yeah, and Justin, you know stuff that I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys know all the things I don't know.
It's called job security. Except for me. I have no idea how the live show is made.
Siobhan, you should probably come here and figure out how something works.
the real question. What is one piece of advice that you would give to my dog to not be so loud during a live show?
How did he even, what did he just do?
He just shook real fast and then he rang his bell to go outside.
He has a bell to go outside?
Yeah.
He's such a gentleman.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
The dog has an outside bell.
He's sophisticated, duh.
He's a butler.
Now he's going to drink water real loud. What is one piece of advice you would give to a young photographer looking to get into photography as a career?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. We have so many advices. And we just spoke at our kids' career day and nobody cared.
Yesterday on our kids' career day, we were just trying to relate, and we were like,
do
do you guys know
kids?
Ansel Adams?
We're cool. Do you know Ansel Adams? And they were like, no.
This is an Ansel Adams rap.
All you had to say is that you're YouTubers.
No, they did not.
We did switch to YouTube, and zero people. Well, the teacher nodded when we
The
said
teacher
Ansel
was like,
Adams.
Ansel.
But everybody knew Casey Neistat, everybody knew PewDiePie, so at least we could kind of speak the same YouTube language.
PewDiePie.
But even us, we were in like the old person section of YouTube.
I was like, you know Ansel Adams? And they're like, you know Nigel Barker? What photographers do you know? I was like, okay, kids, you killed me. You got me.
Their answer definitely would have started with like an @ sign.
Cool. Wow, you're really hip. So this kid actually wants advice and we're just ranting.
I mean, it's tough because we don't know what style of photography they feel compelled by.
Well, I want to do a podcast on the habits of successful photographers. There's not like, we can't give you a formula. If we could just tell you steps 1 through 10, then everybody would be a successful professional photographer. If you want to do portraits locally and just do them for high schools and things like that, that's going to be completely different than being a high fashion photographer that shoots for magazines. If you want to be a travel photographer, that path is way different than being a wedding photographer. So it really depends on the type of photography. But you're young, so I would say now, just follow your passion. If you like shooting something, just keep working at it and just keep honing whatever skills you're interested in. If you become notably good at that, people will notice.
Like any field where a bunch of people are passionate about it, whether it's singing or acting or any sort of art, it's competitive.
Yeah.
So you have to be passionate and you have to be a little bit hardworking. You have to just put like an extra, like 15% is typically enough. Just stay a little bit longer than you might necessarily need to, study a little bit longer. But you're here and you're asking that question, so I feel like you're already going down a good path.
You know what's cool that I see about photographers is they can like something kind of ridiculously nichey, like dropping fruit into water, and then they become the go-to photographer for that. And then you'll see it pop up like a bunch of liquor companies will use it in their commercials, or skincare products will use it, or, you know.
Yeah, and that will just be their thing. You just need your thing.
Yeah.
And that can be enough to make a living.
That's one way to go at it.
Let's take a look at Bev Miller Images, their portfolio, which is hosted by Squarespace.
I was really brought in by this cat looking at the apple. Good apple shot.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a simple
Looks
shot.
like a stock photo. I would bring out the eyes a little more, but that's okay.
Yeah, the whole exposure could come up.
Well, I don't want to just pick apart every individual photo, but overall, I think you have a nice body of work.
I would definitely check the exposure on these photos overall. Go to sdp.io/top tip. And also a recent video
Really good colors in here.
that we published about exposing your portraits correctly, because a lot of these pictures, like, let me just grab the mouse for a second and go back up to this eagle here. It's a nice shot of an eagle, but the eagle itself should be bright white and it's just kind of gray. So the whole exposure should probably come up a stop, and then maybe you need to like try to lower the exposure of the background a little bit. The same thing would apply to this hummingbird picture. Amazing hummingbird picture, but
Really
the eye
good.
is dark. Most of this is in shadow. It's just like a full stop and a half underexposed.
Oh my gosh.
That is adorable. He's right next to his den. You can see his little hole where he
Oh my
lives.
gosh, chilling in his den.
I bet if you look around there, you
picture's
find a bunch of
amazing.
bones and stuff. Yeah, but it is so adorable, and I love all the grasses in front of it. Provide some context.
These pileated woodpeckers are so cool.
Oh,
They look
they're
like a
so
dinosaur.
right? Yeah.
We both said dinosaur. This is a better eagle picture, so I would just scrap the other one.
Yeah, I usually tell people not to have more than one bird
This seems
picture.
out of place, so I would just get rid of that.
Yeah, everything else is nature. Then you have a charger. Oh, I love
and then
that.
this
That
picture
must be.
is so cool.
Yeah, it's a composite, but at the same time, it's really cool, and it feels like a wallpaper or something. Like,
Yeah.
I really like that. I think it has a real commercial potential.
Great pictures. I don't think you have too many. Let's see.
You definitely got to work on those menus.
New gallery.
New page, new cover page.
Your portfolio looks like my folders on my computer.
It should have
It's
that
like
under
new,
construction guy.
New one.
You
New.
know that GIF from 1998.
Okay. Wow. This is really great. I would just like you have very confusing. Oh, then the menus went away. Oh no, they didn't. Here we go. I would just get rid of this new gallery stuff. Oh, a new page. So you've got
Lorem
some
ipsum.
Lorem ipsum, new cover page. Oh no,
Well, Bev is still working on her
she's working on it.
portfolio.
But you had a lot of good stuff going on there. Oops,
Sorry, I just wanted to. I don't know how to get out of here.
I can't.
What happened, Bev?
Never give up. Oh my gosh,
Contact.
more new pages.
And we should see a picture of you.
Okay,
Let's take a look at what Bev had to say.
Bev, good pictures. I would just organize it a little more and get rid of that lorem ipsum and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked through all those pages, and yours was the one that grabbed my eye. So out of all those portfolios,
She had good pictures.
yeah. You say, I opened a Squarespace website about 2 weeks ago. I love
It's
it.
very new.
Easy to use and wonderful site. Thank you, Tony and Chelsea. Appreciate all your videos and advice. Well, thank you for using Squarespace. We appreciate it. They're a sponsor. They make all this possible.
Chit chat.
Squarespace is an awesome way to get just about any type of website. It could be for your restaurant.
It could be if you're a contractor. It could be if you're
You could be a foam salesman or a straw manufacturer. You need a website. Whatever type of website you might need, you can go to squarespace.com/Tony. Get a 14-day free trial. Set everything up. See if you really like it.
Try
if
it
you don't,
before you buy
no
it.
commitment, no credit card required. Then if you decide you like it, which you probably will, use the coupon code portfolio to sign up. Thank you, Squarespace, for making all this possible. Squarespace made this whole studio possible. Squarespace actually makes a lot of different like content creators possible, and people sometimes are like, "Oh, I'm tired of the ads or whatever," but that's the only way it's possible. It's free to you, but it's not free to us. Squarespace is the one who funds all this. You guys rule.
you guys more.
Chit
Chit
chat
chat.
is what? Man, I forgot. What is chit chat, Chelsea?
Chit chat is when people comment and we really need to share those comments with you so that you can get in on our weird life. Aaron Yang says, I'm glad that you guys made this video, but I really think that you could have included Sony's involvement in allowing the Associated Press to get the news out of China during the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre with the digital camera technology. The communists were confiscating films, but they were not aware of digital photography back then. I really... Oh, it's a myth.
It seems like it's almost urban legendy or it's some sort of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But there is this something which seems to be false where the Tiananmen Square picture that everybody's familiar with the guy standing in front of the tank.
Yeah.
The story is that it was taken with the Sony Mavica, which was an early digital camera. And we covered the Sony Mavica, and in fact, I stumbled across the story and researched it because I almost included it in our Sony history story.
But you couldn't confirm its truth.
But somebody interviewed the actual photographer, and he said that picture was taken with a film camera and then transferred using a piece of Sony gear that would like take as a film image and encode it and send it over a modem.
Oh, okay.
So most of the time often that piece of equipment was used with Mavicas, but in this particular case, it was used with a film camera, I think.
Okay, so you think that that's not true? We do.
I think
do
it was actually taken with a
appreciate
Nikon
when
camera.
I do appreciate when people comment and try to add to our history podcast because there's just Tony and me researching the history of these companies, and we're trying to get 100 years or more of history and cram it into like 40 minutes to an hour. So we can miss stuff or we can make mistakes. It's not like we have historians fact checking. So I do appreciate when people comment.
Yeah, and it's not like we have used every single Sony camera. Like we have people in our audience who have just used all these cameras, so they have like hands-on experience. We don't have that. We try to pick everything up. We try to get the big story. Sometimes we miss a little story. Anyway, so that was my take on it. But again, you know, anything historical, you don't have firsthand experience with that. You have to look at other people's recollections, other people and how they recount it. So sometimes
tricky.
Yeah.
Sony sellouts. Boo.
Oh, I think this is also for our Sony history video.
And Philip said, lol, you clearly have never watched the reviews of earlier Sony cameras. Tony pooped all over early Alpha 6 camera. This is the first time I've ever heard Tony say he preferred mirrorless over DSLR for professional work. But back to your conspiracy. Replace the S in Sony with T. What do you get? Tony. Coincidence? I think not. Sellouts. Unsubbed. Slap the first gray-haired guy I could find in the face. Sorry, Dad.
It's true. As
That's
part of the
funny.
sponsorship, I sold the last part of my name. I only got to keep the first initial.
Yeah, no matter what we do, people say we're sellouts, Tony. We got to just keep living our lives.
Well, I know, but I think it's funny that we can be Sony shills because on any other day of the week, we might be Canon shills or Fuji shills or Nikon shills. We've been called all those things.
Killzone says, LMAO, your wife wants to go to Eastern Europe. LOL, you gonna go?
We all talked about this, and none of us could figure out why that was worthy of laughing his ass off. If you want to go to Eastern Europe, that seems like totally reasonable, and I guess I would. Yes, I would go. Of course, I would like.
I really
like
hope
travel.
you go. I don't want to go.
There's lots
alone.
of attractions in Eastern Europe, and I just don't understand why he thought that was so hilarious.
You know, like
It's totally a perfectly reasonable destination.
sometimes I feel like people are trying to hurt me with their comments. Mr. Twister, you always look like you just
this is
got
from
out of...
last week. I covered this already. I'm sorry. I probably just didn't. Yeah.
I wasn't there.
But you weren't here last week. You want to reread this guy?
I was going to say, mind your own business. That's all.
Okay.
Are all of these repeats?
Yeah, I think I just forgot to delete the chit
Somebody,
chats from...
Kyle Medina talked about my choker last week. Kyle Medina, mind your own business. That's just my go-to retort.
Okay, look at some more pictures.
That wasn't that good a chit chat, I gotta say. You guys could do better.
I'll re-import and see if anybody has sent some new stuff in. All right.
I have some super chats for you.
Super chat.
Okay.
It sounds more exciting than it is, but let's hear it.
The first one is, I'm a straight guy, but Tony is one handsome dude.
Okay. I don't know
Somebody
why you have
paid
tell
to
us
share
about-
that with us.
Don't know why you need to clarify.
Thank you, straight bro.
Tony,
Fist bump.
you're good looking as heck.
And
Oh yeah.
as we all knew what happened, someone paid to correct Tony and let you know it was a Challenger, not a Charger.
Well, you
Oh.
really had that coming, and you call yourself a Texan. How much are people paying to tell us things? I don't understand. Why didn't anyone fill
2
me
to
in?
$5. Now we have a $5 question, so I have to ask it.
Okay.
Would you,
What is
Would you-
happening?
I know it's a whole new world.
What
now
is-
we're paid shills, and it's by our own viewers.
I'm shilling.
Would you say that your book, live streams, and lessons still apply for video content? You guys are my inspiration. Thank you.
Oh, that was sweet. What was the question?
If the books the book content applies for video.
Not a ton of it, to be honest.
Really? I would say
Composition.
like the majority of it, composition, lighting, storytelling, all this stuff applies. I mean, video, I feel like you have to have, I feel like video almost entirely builds on still photography.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but we don't do any specific video stuff in there.
Yeah, we have been talking about an actual video book, and there is a lot in video that's not in still photography, but things like, you can tell video
Yeah,
people
but
who
he
don't
just
have...
paid $5 to ask us that. He could have paid a couple more dollars and just got the book.
That's true.
You should just get it. You're rich. I can tell. You got these $5 questions burning a hole in your back. What else, Siobhan? What can
You still have to understand like aperture
Oh yeah, that's true.
and
There's a
ISO
lot. That's
and
true.
all of that, as well as composition and lighting and planning.
So why is this happening? Can we just pause the show for a minute and we can fill man.
Well, YouTube came out with a new feature that I don't totally understand, but you can push a $ icon below the chat and pay. And then when you write a comment, it just has like a background. It has like a red background or a blue background, depending on how much you paid. And I think it's just a way to help support whatever video that you're watching. I think it's mostly like, I think that's a Twitch thing. Is that right, Justin? Do they do that on Twitch?
Oh,
do you know?
God, it's like all they do on Twitch.
That's
that's how
actually-
people make money when they're playing video games.
That's it.
That's actually kind of cool because I know a lot of YouTubers try to get people to donate, and people say they will donate, but then I think you just forget. But if you really have a question and you pay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It would be nice if something like that
I'm
became popular.
Yeah, it makes sense that people give me money.
Well,
a little biased over here.
I would love it as an alternative to taking sponsors, right? And it's especially good for smaller channels who can't get sponsors because you have to be a certain size to get sponsors, and then getting to that size is a challenge. So it's nice to have a way to fund people as they're growing.
Yeah, that is nice. And I will say that I always feel bad when people have a channel and they have good content, but they don't have the funds to support making more content.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't make a lot from YouTube. And it can be difficult to get your viewers to contribute anything. I know a lot of people use Patreon and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We give to other YouTubers Patreon. We give to Toby's Patreon, right?
Yeah, I maybe we should just take our super chat money and, I don't know, give it to Eric Rossi or Max Euro.
What are you talking about?
I feel weird. They don't need my charity.
Shut up. I'm buying the most great hat. Give it to Mr. Generous over here. I'm buying a cool shirt. That's what I'm doing with it. Tell me more, Siobhan. What's more questions? Give me more money questions.
There aren't any more. But someone wants to know if Tony wears NASA and space shirts because you're from Texas. I don't know why.
No,
that would be it.
Science.
And also asking if that is a SpaceX shirt.
No.
Oh, no, this is a shirt that is
Buzz
designed by
Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin. And when I
He
saw
says swear words.
Buzz Aldrin selling a shirt, because he was wearing the shirt in an interview, and I looked it up and it's on his own website. So Buzz Aldrin shirt, I mean, get your ass to Mars. But it's Buzz Aldrin, right? Dude
That is
selling
so
merch.
cool. I don't know why you didn't get me one. But I'm going to buy one with my money questions money.
Money questions.
Money questions.
Super chat, it's called, of course.
Nope, I like money questions better. Do you have any questions, Siobhan?
You get a pick for America.
Mark.
Um,
I feel bad because whenever I'm coming off of a cold, I have zero attention span.
in addition to you regularly having zero attention
Well,
span.
normally I have almost no attention span. Now people get to see what the worst of me is.
Do you guys prefer HDR merging in Lightroom or layer stacking in Photoshop to get better dynamic range photos?
I pretty much do photo merge in Lightroom because it's quicker.
I do it in Lightroom as well. Team Northrup.
Lightroom team.
What do you do, Justin?
Definitely Lightroom. I like having the DNG and all that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, it merges in RAW. It's nice. You can make all those.
I thought you were going to say, I don't do HDR noobs, and then rage quit. Anything else, Siobhan?
Gorgeous picture, Christoph.
Siobhan has to leave so fast, so she's going to leave pretty soon. So I'm trying to get in all the Siobhan time that I can. But
I like this picture a lot, Chris. Do you wish it was symmetrical though? Like moved over just a little
No.
bit? I don't know. I love these shadows.
Symmetrical's so overrated. I'm going to give this a pick.
Yeah, I give it a
Because you don't give in to the man.
Sorry, what else you got, Siobhan?
She said nothing.
Oh, you're out?
I have one more. Sorry.
Nobody else has $2?
Someone paid just to say they don't have a question.
Okay.
Crazy.
Would a full frame macro lens work well on an APS-C camera, or would it be a waste of time?
No, it would work okay. I mean, in fact, with macro, you're usually struggling to get as close as you can, so you often end up cropping anyway, in which case you actually get a little bit of bonus. And I don't know that there's a whole lot of APS-C macro lenses. If you had one, if you could get an APS-C macro lens, that'd probably be a little bit sharper. But yeah, go for it.
Can I ask them a question?
I guess so.
I have this idea. We have this old-timey mansion near us at Harkness Park. And I was thinking that it might be really cool to rent it out and get models and hair and makeup and make all these sets and then invite you guys to come take pictures with us. Would you guys want to do that? That's my question.
Well, are they just coming for free, or are we doing like a gathering, or are you trying to sell a workshop?
Staffel. Right, no such thing as a free lunch. It's not free. I'm gonna have to pay for the model and reserve the mansion, but it would make it more affordable.
So people have to. It just sounded like you were just having like a get
It
together.
kind of sound like a party.
Yeah, just a
having
mansion
a
with
party.
models.
Do I look like I
come
party?
hang out with us.
I'm wearing a jacket inside. I don't party.
These are people on YouTube. They're gonna assume stuff is free.
These people pay for questions. They got money flying out of their butts. They don't. I hope that's not true. If it's true, go see a doctor.
$E.
Money question. I wish I could ask money questions.
Pick for you, Franklin. Very nice.
Franklin,
picture.
this is nice. I'm going to give you 5. Wouldn't that be cool, though? We could do lunch there, and I could set up models for everyone. I thought if someone wanted, because I hate when people do the workshops and then everyone uses the same model, so everyone gets the same pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What if everyone got their own model and got to... What?
Well, it's just you seem to be assuming some unlimited supply of models. Like, you do have a bag of models that you just take out and toss to everybody as
I
they come in?
actually have a closet full of models, so it's going to be fun.
We live in Waterford, Connecticut, where models do not abound, it turns out.
Siobhan's
She
going
didn't
to...
say it would be human models.
I didn't say they'd be
Awesome.
human or good or alive.
Yeah, Sandy and Cowboy and some dead folks, I guess.
Wow. Judgy much.
We only get one shot. Harkness is not going to have his back.
I don't care. I gotta live my life. Okay, let's just bump these colors. This watermark is a little distracting, but I appreciate that it's elaborate.
Yeah, it's the weird like edging that it has.
Yeah, but I think this picture is really beautiful. I love the lines here, and I'm gonna give this a pick. Swiss Night. Love those Swiss Nights. Henry. Wow, let's see what's going on in this town. Pixels. Okay. I like this leading line here. I like the green lights in this factory-looking building. I think 105 seconds.
That's about 20 minutes.
I don't think that's true.
Mm-hmm. I checked. I have a calculator.
I like it. I'm going to just bring up the exposure to make the subject bright. Oh, look at that. This is really nice, Isaac. I'm going to give this a pick.
What's that say, Justin?
Madripoor costume.
I wish I knew.
I just told you. Oh, Isaac. Oh, 2 Isaacs. Is this alphabetical again? This is really nice. Pick it.
Dang, James.
This is actually too spooky.
Too spooky. Yeah, that's a cool shot. It's a very cool.
What do you think this is back here? The last person who offered me free exposure.
I'm gonna give that one a
You're
pick.
funny. You got me with your jokes.
You got a good still life, and you got
the jokes.
a joke in there too. Okay, once again, a dude who wanted to take a picture of waterfalls and forgot his ND filter, which I've lived about 100 times. Watch our video where I tell you can live without filters. Take like 100 pictures while you're there. Just set it to continuous, and then at least you can stack them later, and you can get that shutter speed equivalent up to, 5 seconds or 10 seconds, where the water will be all feathery. Oh man, that's awesome! With the people in the foreground, that really great storytelling. I love having like the kid in there. It's just the foreground is so prominent, and yet there's not much going on there. It seems like everything's going on in the sky. I feel like maybe a telephoto shot of the buildings in the distance in the sky. Is that, what is this? Like, looks like Greek ruins or something.
Wait.
Looks like
Wait, that looks familiar to me. I would guess, but I don't want the public humiliation. I'm going to say it. Scotland. Is this Edinburgh?
It is, absolutely.
Oh!
Wow.
Nice, nice.
Money
Yeah, but Justin's so
question.
supportive. You don't know. He might just be telling you that to make you feel good.
I'm pretty sure that's the castle thing.
Is that what they call it?
Castle thing.
A castle thing?
Scottish castle. Any more questions, Siobhan? You okay, Siobhan?
No more questions. Just a really loud kitchen and
I
a
told
bunch.
you before the show to put your husband in the basement. Did I not?
She says to go to the basement. He said no. We got a bunch more super chat comments,
Dang, we're gonna make
Money
like
questions.
$15.
but none of them are questions. So they just say Nikon is better than Canon. I will fly in from Texas to do that photo shoot.
Yes.
You should slideshow submissions in the background. What makes Chelsea cool is she doesn't care about being cool.
You are so wrong about that.
All I care about is being cool.
That's all she
Also,
cares
Tony,
about.
the quote on your shirt is from Total Recall.
What? The original or the sequel?
The original.
Oh, I
Arnold
can't
left a
believe.
message for his future self to get his ass to Mars.
Oh,
How did I not know this? I've seen that movie like 8 times. We are rewatching Total Recall.
are we?
You don't seem thrilled about this.
I'm just too busy being cool.
Oh man.
Is that it? That's all the questions, or is that just the money questions?
That's all I got.
Does that person say I was cool?
Beautiful picture of water. You picked the right shutter speed for that. It just turned out so nice.
Oh. Eric wants to know how you feel about the flat earth.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't
Siobhan's,
even know that you referenced it last week.
Siobhan's husband's a flat earther. Is he a flat earther? Ask him right now what shape.
They want to know right now, what shape do you think the earth is? He's holding up a Tupperware container. Okay, somebody did ask, what does an ND filter do?
Oh,
It's like sunglasses for your camera.
yeah. It just means it's usually the opposite of what you want and that it blocks light,
Yeah.
unless you have a longer exposure.
But it's cool. Since you don't know, one cool thing you should do with it is go to a crowded location, put it on, and then you can take a picture and get all the people blurred in it. So say you're somewhere busy like Times Square and you want the subject to be the square itself and not all the people, you can kind of turn them into like a misty mass so that you still get the idea of people, but you can get your subject to be the most prominent thing. That's
But-
just one application.
If you're not one of
Hit
these
me
rich money question people, go to scp.io/nofilter. And
Did I just punch the mic?
Totally.
This is a poet.
yeah,
Shit, I'm really...
we're getting really meta in here watching my own videos. But stp.io/nofilter will take you to this video, which will show you some tricks to get around
Are you
using
okay, Justin?
ND filters.
I just really punched the mic.
I just keep thinking of that dude with the subwoofer in your mic.
Neighbors hate him right now.
I mean,
I promise next week we'll have some new mic stands that will separate these from the table. We've made a terrible mistake, it turns out. Sound is hard. Like we keep making changes.
Joan, go.
This dude used a high f-stop, and when you do that, you start to really see all the dust on your sensor.
I need to do things.
Chapter 5 of STP shows you how to clean your sensor. You can also do it in post, but it's good just to clean your sensor.
Never hurts.
But otherwise, nice shot. I'm sorry, I only fixated on the immediate flaw that I saw.
That's so us. Oh, boy.
Yeah, really nice example of Star Trails.
I want
I'm
to
gonna give
be
it a
there. Take me to there. See, an
Grand
ND
Central
filter
Station.
here. Well, they don't really have much light. What are they doing?
Yeah, you can go ahead and crank that exposure up. There you go.
Oh, yeah, you got people moving around. Look at you.
Yeah. Very nice. And it's a nice way to show motion. And if you were doing stock photography, for example, the motion will actually blur people's faces, which makes selling it as stock much
This
easier.
guy has loud conversations about business in public.
Oh my God. So many people nowadays just on their phone.
Look at
And you notice
I
people
bet
don't
they're
even move
texting
when
each
they're on their
other.
phone.
they're ruining your
That
picture.
seems unlikely.
Oh, wow.
Wait, this person with red sneakers was just hauling.
They
Look at
worry.
them. It was only a second and a half. Somehow they disappeared completely.
They concern me. Okay, I'm impressed by that.
All right. Well, it's getting pretty close to time for us to bail.
Whoa.
Siobhan's got to go.
Oops, I did something wrong. Never gonna give you up. Siobhan, any more questions?
Well, someone paid money to say that Tony is a fake nerd.
Wow,
Whoa.
wow.
Because,
Are you?
yeah, because everybody wants to be a nerd, but not many people can be. It's one of those positions in life
Should I
that
show
you
them
work hard at,
Should I
and
show
not everybody
them-
can achieve it.
your letter jacket from high school when you were a mathlete?
Not just a mathlete, Chels.
What?
What did I actually letter in?
Trombone?
Yes. I have a letter jacket. I lettered in two things: band for trombone and mathletics.
I don't know if all of our. Do you think our international viewers even know what a letter jacket is? It's like in. Do we even still do that?
It's like Captain N.
In the U.S., if you play a sport, you'll get like one of those
Captain
wool
N.
jackets with the leather sleeves, like you see the jocks wearing them in movies. And sometimes they're like for football, and you're the captain. And then like you'll see it in the 50s, like they put their letter jacket on the girlfriend. So when Tony and I were dating and we were moving, I found a letter jacket, and I was like, "What? You have a letter jacket?" Mathlete, straight up mathlete. You didn't even want to be a mathlete. You're such a nerd. You got recruited because you were so good at math. They're like, "We need you. You're the man for the job." It's like one of those movies where they pull a guy out of retirement. They're like, "I know you don't want to be a war captain, if that's even a thing, but you gotta come back. You're the man we need." That was Tony.
Yeah, he's just gardening peacefully. It's Clint Eastwood usually. And a helicopter comes in from the distance.
We're like, "Clint."
Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm a fake nerd.
If only.
I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Oh, you go, sure.
What is the highest end camera this person who is yelling at me can purchase that has an articulating touchscreen?
I don't know. How much money do they have?
Do you have so many dollars? What's your story?
I don't know. They didn't even pay for the question.
Whoa. Really cheaping out. I'm living that money question life. So I can't give it up. What else?
You know what? Get yourself a used GH2. Those cost like $200, and we used to do this whole live show with used GH2s.
But we don't
Because
anymore.
yeah, Squarespace. It's pretty cheap at the time, but or a G7 or like a GH4. But yeah, I don't know how much money you got.
You got other stuff happening, Shabon? Shabon.
Why would someone prefer a medium format camera over a full frame or other? Just more megapixels?
Yeah, it can depend on where the picture's ending up. If you're shooting, like if you're doing a fashion shoot and you know that it's going to be a huge print, if you look at a lot of stores, they have huge pictures in the front of the store. And that's a really big print. So if you wanted to have a lot of detail while still being large, then medium format's the way to go. Some people, I think, just want them because it sounds pro and they're expensive. I think that's true.
We spent like a week hanging out with Rishi from DP Review, and he just published that article for DP Review about medium format. We actually talked about it some beforehand, but yeah, most of the perceived benefits of medium format cameras don't really exist because it's dependent on the combination of lens and camera. And a bigger sensor doesn't necessarily buy you much without having a lens that complements it. And right now, like, there are just more lenses for full frame than anything else. So that's the only reason. It's not so much about the sensor size, it is about the lenses that you can get.
Very smart.
Yeah, Rishi's a real smart dude. You can pretty much trust what the guy says. He has integrity too.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
Also a very good dude.
Yeah.
DP Review. He writes for DP Review.
Yeah.
You guys should check out
He's
all
like
Rishi
the
stuff.
DP review guy.
Also, he's a sweetheart
And a great dancer.
and a really good
Didn't
dancer.
expect that out of him, but he is.
Tuna Rishi.
Sometimes I like to look at the other things
That's
of
a
people's
cast
pictures.
protector.
Like they have, a cast protector. I didn't know that existed. And then they have like this thing and
Don't peek at his house. Just look at this great interaction between himself
I like that loving look that he's giving himself. Like, oh, you cad.
you.
I love you too.
I think that's cool, Ryan.
Yeah. Little bromance going on with himself.
You got anything else, Siobhan? Siobhan?
Yes, this will be my last question.
Then you have to leave.
Yeah. I have a yoga class to go to.
I want to do
What?
yoga.
You're doing yoga?
$5.
What? Tony, we have
Yeah,
to move
it's
to
at the rec center.
Tony.
So,
We have
you
to
know.
move to Philadelphia. Everything's affordable there. You have to pay
True.
to breathe in our town. What else?
Okay.
That was a great picture.
What does it mean to have a style in photography? To me, it often seems like someone's style is slightly blurred or almost completely washed out. How do I determine a style?
Oh, this is just like when you go to the Modern Art Museum and there's always that guy that's like, I could do that, when he looks like a Jackson Pollock. And if you look at the artists, they previously had done traditionally good art, and then you see their style change into something that's their own. And that's the same with photography. If someone's trying to take a portrait and the exposure's wrong, and they also can't get their subject to not have motion blur, that's not your style. You just don't know what you're doing. So I guess the answer is, if the photographer knows all of the rules and chooses to break them because they like the way that it looks, that's a style. If a photographer is just stubborn and refuses to learn something and keeps making different mistakes, that's not a style. I think it'd be kind of difficult to not deliberately have a style, because I think if you didn't know what you were doing, you'd have a ton of different mistakes rather than just one deliberate one. And an example of that is actually this new style of fashion photography where they use, I'm pretty sure they use a flash, because the person is frozen and then they'll have like lights coming off of them, or they'll have some blur coming off of them. It almost looks like it's motion blur or like some camera shake or something, but they do it very deliberately. And that would actually be hard to replicate if you didn't know what you were doing, even though it looks like a mistake almost.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
I-
It does.
The style thing is something I think about a lot. And it's the kind of thing that's not going to develop in the first couple of years that you're shooting. Like, you have to be an experienced photographer. And part of that is because in the first couple of years that you're shooting, you have to learn from other people. And that means kind of necessarily copying other people's styles, not necessarily copying them, but you're still learning. So you're figuring out
Well, I think
the rules and the basics of it. But at some point you start breaking those rules.
I
And
also think if you're copying someone, you can be dissecting their style to figure out what they're doing mechanically different. It can be an exploration of breaking rules, not
Yeah.
necessarily just ripping them off. Sorry, what were you saying?
well, that your style is some deviation from the norm
Mm-hmm.
and necessarily involves something unique and a little bit unusual, but also consistent from picture to picture to picture. And for some people, their style is always, I shoot at 50 millimeters. I have tons of background blur. Maybe it's only black and white. Maybe it's tight and emotional, or maybe it's moody. Or
Maybe it's
something
really
like that.
soft and feathery and
Yeah.
ethereal. Maybe it's hard flash on a wall.
But I feel like for it to be genuine, it has to be almost irresistible. Like, you won't have any choice. Like, you'll just feel compelled to shoot this way because
How do
you
you
just love
feel
this style of
if
shot.
someone's style is just very ugly?
Yeah, just terrible.
I think they just have to go with it.
Just like ugly camera shake.
No, because, there have been people with distinct styles where it's just not for me, but that doesn't mean they're wrong.
Yeah.
It's subjective.
It's subjective, Justin.
Yeah, and we kind of discussed this earlier, but even you can be a pro just by having that thing that's your specialty.
Like J.J. Abrams with his lens flare.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I heard that his wife told him if he did any lens flare in that Star Trek movie, she was going to be upset. Is that true? Were you the one?
I
I
did see that
heard that
article.
too. I think
I
I
think you
think we
told
were
me.
sharing that article. Yeah.
So yeah, that's his style. Lens flare. I don't know. Hope that answered your question. Siobhan's gone. She had to leave. She's busy. She has yoga.
Well, we should go too, but I'm going to give Simi Rigor a pick. And I guess we should peace out.
Wait, Simi.
Fantastic shot, right? And
Yeah.
I love the little lighthouse has solar panels on it. I actually love the way they're catching the light.
I'm going to give that 5 stars. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay. So thank you for joining us. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. And the theme is
Abstract?
abstract.
Abstract photos next week. Thank you to our sponsors, Squarespace. If you want your own awesome portfolio, go to squarespace.com/Tony. Use the coupon code portfolio after your 14-day free trial, and you'll tell them that you heard about it from us, and you'll get a 10% discount.
Tony, in the corner it says Nut Boger Studio.
I don't know how that got there.
Okay. Well, also, thanks for your money questions. I didn't know that was a thing until today, but I'm
That's so
pretty
weird.
impressed by that. Bye.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks. See you next week.
That is all.